Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now, finding an old relic of the hardware world isn't an uncommon occurrence, as sites like eBay are often littered with the top end components of yesteryear, selling for a fraction of the original price. That being said, it's not often that you'll come across a brand new part still inside its original packaging, never having been used. This is the ASUS 8600 GT Magic Edition, and although it's far from a high-end card, it is an unopened one that's missed out on the gaming heyday in which it was designed for. Today, it'll get a chance to play some games. The box itself reflects the gaming world of 2007. Windows Vista had come out a year earlier and was therefore the recommended OS for this 512MB DDR2 card. We've also got an HDCP compliant logo here and a symbol to let us know that this card supports or supported ASUS's own Gamer OSD software. This allowed gamers to monitor frame rate and capture footage like how you might use MSI's Afterburner today. I think the emphasis on the magic part of this card was due to its superior running temperatures, as stated on the green box, because a lot of 8600 GTs or just reference design cards had a very small, very noisy fan that really weren't that great at keeping the Celsius reading down under load. On the back of the box we've got more listed features, as well as that old ASUS motto, rock solid, heart touching. Now this motto was actually abandoned in 2009 I believe, and I'm not sure what the last graphics card box was to use it, but I'll try and find it or track something down. The minimum requirements for this card are also listed, and once again the word magic is used, this time to describe the DX10 gaming experience. I actually miss old decorative boxes like this, but I guess that this practice died down when the majority of sales became online based. I mean, a random girl on the front would catch your eye in a shop, but online it doesn't really need to. I'm not sure if that is the reason, of course, I'm just making assumptions. So let's open the box as if by magic. Sorry. Here we are, not the most professional setup, but my house is currently a bit of a building site, so the sheet on the floor was the best I could do. First we have the speed setup guide, which details installation instructions for the 8600 GT. There's not really much else to it, but it took me a while to find the English language section. They were sort of fused together through lack of use, but I'm glad I found the front page because it has some nostalgic black and white images of then current hardware. We've also got a now horribly out of date driver disc. The card supports driver 342.01 now, which came out in 2016, so yeah, installing these drivers, providing they even work on Windows 10, probably isn't the best idea. We've got a couple of cool adapters in here too, still sealed. This is always cool to see. Admittedly, I paid way too much for this card on eBay, about £25, but I just love the idea of unboxing old tech that's never had a chance to be used. Then we've got the card itself, of course. It's been patiently sitting inside this anti-static packaging for the last 13 years, just waiting to be opened, and I thought for this bit I'd play the sound, the very satisfying audio that a crispy anti-static bag produces. So the ASUS fan here certainly looks beefier than the small stock coolers of other 8600 GT cards, and now that I've opened what was a mint condition unused item, I guess we should test it. Now, I'm someone who believes that things should be enjoyed. It's cool to own something original and untouched, but actually using it for the first time is far more exciting in my opinion, even if that thing is technically obsolete like this. The contrast of this old school design against the all black and white modern era components in my system does look really good, and it will of course cause a severe bottleneck. I will say that when I first turned the PC on, I could hear the fan bearings scraping, with the noise gradually getting quieter and disappearing as the cooling solution unseized. What wasn't cool was the noise that came from the speakers after installing the drivers, but this was soon sorted out after I removed them and then reinstalled them. I was then curious to see whether or not I could get any of this ancient software working, and surprisingly I managed to install the XP 64-bit edition of the ASUS GameFace messenger service and broadcasting software. The Gamer OSD software gave me an error halfway through installation of what is this single software package. Even the stuff that did install didn't really work past the point of opening, but that's fine because I didn't expect it to, at least not with Windows 10. At least I discovered the true magic of this GPU, even if its bag of tricks has changed a little in a decade and a half. This card, get ready, has the ability to make your smooth frame rates disappear. Sorry, I couldn't resist. As promised, the card does stay cool though under load. It idles at 48 degrees, which isn't brilliant, but it only got up to 67 when trying to play GTA 5. That of course brings us on to the games. So before we go any further, we should actually talk about this specific model. It has 512 megabytes of DDR2 memory, so despite its magical name, well, there was a GDDR3 variant of the 8600 GT as well, and that one would do better because of the higher bandwidth, 32 compared to the 12.8 of this one, so already performance is going to take a hit. In GTA 5, we saw less than 20 frames per second on average with the low settings at 720p, so it wasn't exactly a playable experience here. The GDDR3 card would probably do better, especially in games that struggle. Let's just wait a minute and see how the frame rate dips with the upcoming explosion. Well, it wasn't too bad, to be honest. So next up we have Call of Duty Black Ops, one of my favourite in the Call of Duty series. Now this will run again at 720p low, but with 30 frames per second, so you're sort of getting a playable experience here. Now I didn't get the external capture device out for this video simply because there wasn't too much point, I'm going to be honest with you. I recorded internally with MSI Afterburner, which may affect the frame rate in some instances, but here it didn't really do anything. It's quite a CPU dependent task, and our CPU literally had nothing else to do with these games maxing out our graphics cards. So yeah, what you see here is still what you get. This is probably one of the only times that I'll record with an internal piece of software when I know the frame rate's probably going to be quite bad anyway. Black Ops though, well, 30 FPS is doable, but again, the low bandwidth memory here, DDR2, yeah, not ideal for any card, even an older one like this. I hate to say it, but I'm realising why this card was never taken out of its box. Maybe it turned up when someone ordered it, they realised it was a DDR2 version and they thought, nah, I'm going to order the GDDR3 card instead. But as we move on to Fallout New Vegas, this is a game that anyone's PC can in theory run. I remember a lot of articles saying that at the time when it came out, but even here 60 FPS is doable with 720p in the low preset. There will be a few drops, particularly when you walk through like those little dust tornadoes that occur in the game, but for the most part it's going to be an okay experience. The unboxed brand new 8600 GT, it was interesting and fun to open this old card, but when it comes to running modern games, well, it's going to do even worse than its GDDR3 counterpart, thanks to the memory. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like on it down below. Leave a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let me know if you've ever owned this card, or if you still own one in a system somewhere. And hopefully I'll see you all again in the next one.